Do you remember Halo before it sucked ass? Yeah, me too. And with the upcoming Halo campaign Evolved, I can't help but be excited and terrified at the same time. Because honestly, I don't think Halo needs to keep remaking the old games. I think it needs a new one. Not another soft reboot, remake, spiritual successor, or live action bullshit that just gets abandoned by the next game, but a real hard reset. So instead of remaking Halo again, this is how I think they should actually fix the campaign and fix Halo moving forward. Act 1. The Sleeping World. Now what Halo really needs to do is just go ahead and retcon the entirety of 4, 5, and 6, because they all sucked. What I would do is call this new Halo, Halo Forerunner. And the reason for that is because that's kind of a play on words, because 4 sounds like 4. And this is like, you know, what's supposed to be the real Halo 4. And then Forerunner, because we're going back to the original idea and roots for what Forerunners really were. They were fucking humans!
You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring is mine.
What we have to do to get this story kicked off and going is do something really, really dumb. But that's fine. We're Halo fans. We're used to being thrown dumb things our way with the last, like, 4 games in a row. So what we need to do, and I'm being serious here, is we need to just go back to the ending of number 3, have Master Chief wake up in the cryopod, and just say that 4, 5, and 6 was all a horrible nightmare. It's fine, Master Chief. It was a nightmare for us, too. And I know this sounds awful, and yes, it is, but it's kind of a great opportunity for Halo Studios to make fun of themselves while also retconning the entire series and resetting with a clean slate. So the game essentially just opens up where 3 left off. Chief wakes up in the back half of the Forward unto Dawn. The ship is dead, Cortana is fading, and outside of the viewport, instead of a big metal ball, we see an actual Earth-like planet. It's an ancient Forerunner world, but our protagonist doesn't know it yet. It's like a dead paradise, an ancient human Forerunner world, half buried in the jungle. There's oceans, ruins, storms, and so on. Kinda like what we got in Halo 4, but minus all the crap. Chief doesn't know where he is, and the UNSC doesn't know where he is. The Covenant War is over, and for the first time since Halo Combat Evolved, Chief is alone again, on a strange new world, setting the stage for a new trilogy, in a sort of poetic kind of way.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one. Hopefully it'll work.
See, the biggest fix for me was that Halo 4 should have continued the implication from the original trilogy that humans are connected to the Forerunners in a direct and somewhat uncomfortable way. I'm not totally sure what doofus decided to switch gears and turn Forerunners from humans into some boring random alien race. Clearly it was not someone who played Halo 3.
You are Forerunner.
Kind of forgot about.
So instead of Forerunners being just another alien species who fought ancient humans, we go back to humanity being the lost inheritor branch of the Forerunner legacy. The Forerunners were us, or what we became, or what we were supposed to become, or something, I don't know. You need the Forerunners to stay mythical and not over-explain things.
I am what remains of the Forerunner, once known as the Librarian. My memories will retain to assist humanity on their path to the mantle. Though sadly, that plan is now at risk. The Didact is leaving Requiem. Soon.
Instead, as Master Chief explores the world, we have doors start to open for him. Weapons can start to activate, ancient recordings calling the Reclaimer like before.
That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer.
You know, kind of continuing where we left off. And then the player and Master Chief start to question it. They question, why did humanity forget all of this? Why did the Forerunners even disappear? And why does everything seem to have been waiting for Chief? To me, that's kind of what Halo is. Now you may be asking, who should the villain be in all of this? Well, if the Forerunners are still an extinct version of the human race, to me the answer should be clear. The only thing that the Halo sequel trilogy kinda got right was in Halo Infinite, was with the enemy. I think the Banished from Halo Wars 2 would be perfect here. They're a familiar foe, but new at the same time. Instead of robot dogs and enemies teleporting to God knows where, we can have enemies that we recognize, but they're still new at the same time. They use a mix of stolen or lost UNSC gear. Their main color is red. They have different armors and vehicle mashups, etc., like in Infinite. Maybe they arrived months earlier after discovering the coordinates from Covenant remnants. They're not trying to destroy the universe here. They're just trying to claim a new home planet for themselves as their, a branch off rogue section of the Covenant. They're just independent. Their goal here should be rebuild or activate an unfinished Halo Forerunner superweapon buried inside the world. Not because they're cartoon villains and they want to blow up humans for revenge, but as leverage. Because now that the war is over, the Covenant has been shattered, humanity is exhausted, and the Banished now want to become the dominant power in the galaxy, and they believe that this is a good timing to do it. So the conflict is still a little smaller than before, but it's still rather large and important all at the same time. If the Banished control this world, they control the future balance of power, so I would try and make this Halo game feel more like a survival mystery campaign. Now, back to what I was talking about earlier in Act 1, because I got kind of sidetracked there with the overall plot. So after Chief wakes up in the Forward Dawn and he finds out that Halo 4, 5, and 6 was just an awful nightmare that we all had to endure for like 10 or 15 long years and it never ended and it didn't seem like it was ending at all. He wakes up and Cortana tells him that he was dreaming or having a nightmare or she was keeping him awake or alive or something, I don't know. So anyway, the Forward Dawn gets pulled into the planet's gravity and crashes. And this is where the first real gameplay can just begin right from the get-go. Chief crawls out of the wreckage with barely any functioning gear. Cortana is weak, his ship is dead, all of his communications are gone, and he has no idea where he is. There is no UNSC, there's no Marines, no backup, just him. This is where you bring back that Halo Combat Evolved feeling that I was talking about. Instead of going here and listening to an exposition dump for 12 minutes, or going around and mindlessly taking over and freeing a bunch of bases, the first missions can be quiet, lonely, and atmospheric. Chief moves through jungles, beaches, cliffs, rainstorms. Ruined Forerunner roads and ancient structures half swallowed by nature surround him. Again, this planet should feel like a dead paradise. And there are signs that someone is here or has been here recently. You start to find burned trees, excavation equipment, Covenant crates, but you also find UNSC weapons scattered around even though there's no UNSC that should be there. Then Chief starts to see the red markings and the Banished. At first, you do not reveal everything, you let the player discover them naturally. Chief uncovers brutes using scavenged Covenant vehicles, grunts wearing Banished armor, jackals acting as raiders and scouts, and elites who all abandon the Covenant and now fight as lonesome mercenaries. Some Banished soldiers have stolen UNSC guns, and some have rebuilt ghosts and warhogs into ugly hybrid machines. This immediately tells the player that the Covenant War is over, yes, but the galaxy is still not peaceful. The Banished are not religious fanatics, they are not worshipping the Forerunners, they are simply here looting the corpse of a god, basically. And this is a great post-Halo 3 enemy concept. The Act 1 objective here is simple. You just survive, find out where you are, and you're trying to send a signal home. Chief and Cortana will try and repair a beacon from the Forward Dawn. To do that, they need to enter nearby Forerunner ruins. And this is where the mystery can begin. This is where, like before, the doors start to open for Chief. The ancient systems begin to wake up when he gets close. Weapons activate, platforms move, holograms appear, the world recognizes him as the Reclaimer. So the important part here is not to over-explain it with a long lore-dumping scene from a librarian. You just tell a couple fragments over time, like a few voice lines like Reclaimer detected, or Hi Reclaimer, or Lineage confirmed, I don't know. Just come up with a few lines that make Halo fans really pause and ask some questions. You should be having them ask questions that relate to the ending of Halo 3 and the broader story. Are humans Forerunners? Are humans descended from Forerunners? Are Forerunners ancient humans? Why did we forget them? Why did we leave this place behind? And so on. And at the end, when he successfully sends his weak distress signal into space, the moment he does, the planet responds. A massive Forerunner structure rises out of the ocean or out of the jungle, and the Banished see it. Their commander then realizes that Chief is not just another Spartan, but he is the key to all of this.
Jar Jar is the key to all this.
So now the Banished stop merely scavenging and kind of fighting him off, and they begin hunting him down in full force. Act 2. The War for the Cradle. Now Act 2 is where the scope begins to open up, but not too much. The game should not suddenly become save the entire universe. It should become this one planet matters more than anyone understands. See, we can reveal here that the Banished have been on the world for a few months. They've discovered the coordinates through maybe like a Covenant remnant, maybe old Prophet's archives, or they stole some data from the ruins of the Ark, and they came here looking for Forerunner technology that they could weaponize. But they hit a wall. The deepest systems wouldn't let them open them. The planet would not obey them. And then Chief arrives, and now suddenly everything's waking up, and this creates a great dynamic between the two. The Banished will need to keep Chief alive, or at least need access to whatever his presence is activating, and Chief needs to stop them. But every step he takes deeper into the planet also helps the world come back online. So right there you got tension baked right into the story. The more Chief learns, the more dangerous the planet becomes. The main Banished villain should also be smart enough to understand this. He should not be a generic brute screaming about crushing humans. He should be a warlord with a post-war philosophy. He should think to himself something like this: the Covenant bowed to the relics and humanity inherited them, but the Banished will take them. That should be it. That should be his entire worldview. It's pretty simple. He hates the Covenant's worship of the relics, and he hates the fact that humanity is the chosen one. He believes power belongs to whoever is strong enough to seize it. So when he sees Chief opening doors just by simply existing,
there's a door in my way!
He gets really mad about this, and he gets disgusted. To him, humanity did not earn this inheritance, and they do not deserve it, but the Banished will. Meanwhile, we learn that Cortana is getting worse. One of the few things that I kind of liked about Halo 4 was Cortana decaying about, like, kind of throughout the game, and her death at the end. I feel like that was kind of emotional. I just feel like they could have handled it a lot better. I feel like the idea was there, but the writing wasn't. So maybe we can do something like this. Once Cortana starts getting worse, this is where the emotional spine of the game becomes more clear. The planet's systems are not just reacting to Chief, but they are reacting to Cortana as well. Since she is an AI built by humanity, which, was Forerunners, their technology can, be paired and whatnot. So since she is paired with the Reclaimer, carrying years of Covenant, Halo, and Forerunner data inside of her, the planet wants to try and start pulling her into their data network. But the planet is not doing this maliciously. It's almost like it's trying to preserve her. This is where like those glitches and things that was happening to Cortana in the original Halo 4 can start happening here, but in different ways. She starts seeing things that Chief cannot see. Memories that are not hers, ancient human voices, Forerunner archives, maps of lost colonies, old worlds, the truth behind the Halo array, etc. She realizes that this planet may not just be a Forerunner world, but it may be the first world, a place tied to the origin of the Forerunners, the Reclaimers, and humanity's forgotten past. You can call this place the Cradle. Now, that name works because it implies birth, origin, and inheritance without over-explaining it. The Banished think that the Cradle is a weapons vault, and the UNSC, when they get there, might think it's a strategic asset. But Cortana realizes that it's more like a memory palace for an entire civilization. Now, Act 2 can also introduce the UNSC side of things. Speaking of them, back in human space, Lord Hood will receive the distress signal. It is fragmented and nearly impossible to verify, but the signature matches the Forward Unto Dawn. The moment of realization hits, Master Chief may still be out there and still be alive. But the war has just ended. Humanity is damaged. Fleets are stretched thin. There is no easy rescue mission. This is where we can bring in the Arbiter. Not as a cheap cameo or fan service, but because it just makes sense here in my opinion. The Arbiter hears that Chief may be alive and insists on helping. This would be emotionally earned because Halo 3 ended with mutual respect between the two. The Arbiter coming to help find him just kind of feels right here. So Act 2 has two parallel stories, and we maybe even have a few missions as the Arbiter if we want to. Fuck it, make it like Halo 2, why not? Chief on the planet, uncovering the truth and fighting the Banished, and the UNSC and the Arbiter racing to locate him before the Banished take control of the world. But we can also just have the Arbiter and UNSC storyline be more cutscenes and just play as Chief the whole game. Because we go back to Chief, and Chief does not know that help is coming. And that matters. He is still alone from his perspective. Midway through Act 2, Chief discovers the Banished are trying to activate something buried beneath the world. And it's not a Halo ring exactly, but a Forerunner foundry capable of repairing, constructing, or commanding Halo technology. I feel like this kind of lets you keep the whole Halo identity without just going, oops, it's another ring again. The Banished are not trying to fire their array, but they're trying to control the infrastructure behind it. I feel like this is scarier in a more grounded way. Instead of just trying to control it to blow everything up, they're trying to control the cradle so that it can bargain with anyone and become the superpower in the universe. This kind of becomes a Cold War in space scenario. Act 2 should end with a major loss. Chief and Cortana are trying to stop the Banished from breaching the inner vault, but Cortana has to interface with the planet to lock them out. When she does, the Forerunner system begins copying her. For a moment, she becomes clearer than she has all game. There's no rampancy, no stuttering, no glitches. She says she can see everything, but then she begins to get scared. She realizes that the system is not just copying her, but it is absorbing her. This is where the player learns that crucial bit of information I was talking about earlier about her getting absorbed into the planet. Chief pulls her out, but not completely. Part of Cortana is now stuck inside of the cradle. This causes the cradle to continue coming alive and opening up, which gives the Banished the chance that they need. Act 3. The choice beneath the world. Now Act 3 is where everything converges. The Banished launch a full assault on the inner structures of the cradle. The planet itself begins activating defense systems. Not Prometheans. Do not bring back the floaty robot nonsense crap. Instead, the defenses should feel ancient and rare. Environmental hazards, sentinel swarms, gravity shifts, defense towers, light bridges, ancient machines that feel more like sacred architecture than enemy mobs. You can also tease the flood here, but not as like a whole plot point. Maybe as the Banished dig a little deeper, they accidentally breach some sealed chambers. Chief sees ancient containment labs, dead bodies, burned markings, warnings. Maybe there's like a horrifying mission that has a small flood outbreak in a sealed underground facility. Not enough to turn the whole game into a flood game, but just enough to remind the player that this is why Halo existed. And it also can make the Banished look a little reckless. They're not evil because they want to destroy everything, they're just dangerous because they're arrogant, and they're breaking locks that they do not understand. The UNSC and the Arbiter can finally arrive in the start or the middle of Act 3, but we don't make it a massive victory moment where the cavalry arrives to save everyone. We make it more of a desperate act, a desperate moment. A small UNSC task force drops into a war zone. The Banished already control parts of the orbit. The planet's defenses are waking up. The UNSC is outgunned and very confused as to what the hell is happening. The Arbiter's forces are trying to punch a hole through the Banished ships. Chief finally hears a familiar voice over the comms. Maybe it's Lord Hood, or maybe it's the Arbiter. Maybe it's kind of his endgame moment with Cap in the portals, and he hears, Sierra 117, do you copy? That moment could hit hard for Chief because he's been alone this whole game. But even when help arrives, the final burden is still his. Chief and Cortana will reach the center of the cradle. Inside is not some generic boss arena. It should be beautiful and kind of eerie. A massive underground chamber with an unfinished Halo-like structure suspended inside the planet. Not a full ring, but the seed of one. Kind of like a ring embryo, if you will. Now this is the truth. The cradle was built as a last inheritance site. It's kind of a weapon, a lifeboat, and an archive all in one. The idea is, if humanity ever returned, it would give them access to the Forerunners' knowledge, technology, and history. But there's a failsafe put in place that if the wrong species were to find and try to access this knowledge, the cradle becomes a weapon and defends itself. But instead of becoming a galaxy-ending event, this one is merely a solar system wiping event so that it doesn't accidentally kill any Forerunners or Reclaimers in distant systems that there might be. This instead puts Chief in a different position, whereas before, if he was by himself in a degrading Cortana, he might have just sacrificed himself along with the Banished to try and save the greater good. But now it becomes more personal as he has to fight for the lives of those from the first trilogy that are here to save him now. I don't know if this is messy or if this works or not, but fuck it, we're rolling with it. So anyway, the Banished commander reaches the core and tries to force activation. Cortana will realize there is only one way to stop him because there's no explaining or reasoning with him. She has to enter the system fully and seal the cradle from the inside. But doing so means that she cannot leave. Chief will refuse this at first, and this is where you make the ending kinda mirror Halo 4's emotional core, but in a story that actually feels like Halo. Cortana tells Chief that the Banished are minutes away from gaining access, and she tells him what will happen to everyone there if they do. And everything the Forerunners left behind will be lost to humanity once again, possibly losing their future along with it. Chief tries to find another way. Cortana says that there is not one, and here's the key emotional difference. Chief has to choose between saving Cortana and saving humanity. Literally, he can physically pull Cortana's chip and core fragment out and escape with her, but if he does, the cradle remains lost and the Banished win. Or he can let her merge with the system long enough to shut it down, knowing that it will trap her or potentially kill her. Chief ultimately chooses humanity, but the pain is where Cortana understands before he even says it. She knows him too well. She could say something like, "You already know what you have to do, Chief." And Chief can say, "I won't leave you." And Cortana says, "You're not. You're choosing them, and that's what you were made to do," or some bullshit like that. That is brutal because it hits the core of Chief's character. He is loyal to Cortana, he loves her in whatever strange soldier AI way that bond exists, but he is also Master Chief. He fucking saves people, and that's his job, and that's also the tragedy of it all. The final mission could be Chief fighting his way out while Cortana controls the planet around him. Doors open, bridges form, banished ships fall from the sky, sentinels turn against the banished. For the first time, the cradle fully recognizes humanity. Cortana is dying, but she is also becoming part of something ancient. The banished commander refuses to retreat and becomes the final boss. Not a giant space god that is killed with a QuickTime event, but an actual boss fight. Just a brutal, personal fight between Chief and the warlord who tried to steal humanity's inheritance. Chief wins, Cortana seals the core, and the planet will go quiet. The banished are forced to retreat, but they escape with fragments of data, enough to set up future games in case we want them, and the UNSC recovers Chief, but Cortana is gone. Or at least gone from him. The ending. Well, the ending should hurt, but it should also set up some hope. Chief is standing in the center of the now dormant cradle. Cortana's avatar appears one last time, unstable but peaceful. She is not evil this time, she is not becoming a dictator. She is still just Cortana, but she is now trapped inside the Forerunner system. Chief can ask if he can get her out, and she can say nope, not from this side, and that line can kind of set up Halo 5. Because now Halo 5 is not Chief goes rogue because Cortana is suddenly Space Hitler. It becomes Chief and the UNSC trying to rescue Cortana from the Forerunner network, but with different motivations. Chief wants to save her because of loyalty, love, guilt, and dedication, while the UNSC sees her as an asset and they want to recover her because she now has access to the greatest Forerunner archive ever found. This creates tension for the sequel. Chief sees Cortana as a person, while the UNSC sees her as an asset. This is way better than evil Cortana. You can even have their final conversation kind of mirror something of Halo 3 and flip the ending. You can have Chief saying something like, tell me how to find you, and Cortana saying like something like, you can't, not yet. And Chief says, I'll come back, and Cortana says, I know. Wake me when you need me, or wake me when you find me, or something. After that, Chief gets rescued, the UNC lands, and the Marines all stare at him like a ghost. The Arbiter sees him and says something simple, but not too dramatic, like, Spartan? And Chief says, Arbiter. No Marvel jokes here, no overacting, just two legends alive again, finally on screen at the same time, reuniting. Then Lord Hood or a UNSC officer or something can ask, oh, where's Cortana? And Chief can look back at the silent Forerunner structure, still in there. And then boom, it goes dark, credits roll. And then maybe after the credits we get an after credit scene, where it's deep and underground on the cradle and it's dark and there's like a blue light flickering and then you just hear Cortana's voice whispering, John? And then cut to black again. And then title card, Halo Forerunner. I feel like that ending gives closure, grief, and a sequel hook without ruining Cortana like it did in Halo 4 and 5. What Halo 5 becomes after this. I feel like this setup makes Halo 5 way easier and way better. Instead of Cortana being the villain, Halo 5 becomes a rescue and expedition story. The UNSC wants to return to the cradle and extract Cortana's knowledge. Chief wants to return to save Cortana herself. Maybe the Arbiter tries to warn humanity not to exploit what they just found. Maybe the Banished are still out there with stolen Forerunner data, or maybe they're going back to still try to reclaim some weapons. Maybe there's even some Covenant remnants out there that hear about the true gods were actually humanity and that the prophets kept that from them, and that causes religious chaos across the galaxy. I feel like this is all pretty great sequel foundation. Halo 5 could be about who gets to inherit the Forerunner legacy. Chief believes humanity should earn it. The UNSC simply wants to secure it. The Banished think that they should earn it. The Arbiter fears it could start a whole new war. Cortana is trapped inside. That is a real Halo trilogy to me. Not Cortana bad now. Not, oh, there's new ancient aliens and they're worse than the Flood. Or there's actually the Endless and they're worse than everything somehow. Just a clean, mythical, but yet grounded conflict built from Halo 3's original ending.